Going somewhere?
So this is a project I've been thinking about doing for a while, and it's a restoration of the first two maps of the Society of Leopold, and partially restoration and a lot of bug fixes because this is a really interesting map, and I also decide I want to provide some exposition on what's happening.
Greetings, soldier. Anything to report? The Gladius Day has told us to keep a sharp eye. He thinks we may have some visitors this evening. Of course, sir.
And these conversations are one of the first mechanics that we'll encounter that's important to the design of this map.
What kind of visitors, sir? The only kind that matters, soldier. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Carry on.
And we get two things from these conversations between these people. Is the first that they move out of our intended path, and it also helps us understand what our path should be, what the developers wanted our path to be. And the second thing we get is information, and in this case we found out they're expecting us. And here I mess up my footsteps, and this guy here hears me. But it does help to illustrate an important point in that this person is only here as a flag to show me that I'm still on the correct path that the designers intended. He isn't there to discover me or for any grand purpose. He just stands there with his back so that I know that that's where they wanted me to go. And another thing common with Troika designs on all these maps is they scatter these little secrets and tidbits along the way to help you understand you're on the path. And in this map, the things we're looking for are these conversation spots and these people with their back turned to us so that we can easily stealth kill them. And we'll encounter another person right here. So he just stands here. They have pretty good hearing, but their eyesight is really terrible. And something that's going to happen when we're around this corner is as soon as we go past that spot, it activates that person that I'm following to start patrolling. And if you're just moving too fast or you're not paying particular attention, you can miss these patrol paths and these patterns. You know, and in this case, he wasn't static, but he just comes over here and stands in front of this tree and becomes static for us. And I was looking off to my right because I wasn't 100% sure where those people behind me were going. It made me a little nervous. Here's the next conversation.
No. Should I? That's good, family luck. The name sounds familiar.
How long have you been as a Caitiff?
Not very long. I was sworn in just last winter.
I see. Are you enjoying your service in the Brotherhood?
Of course.
Then I recommend staying clear of Brother Grunfeld.
In this conversation, we find out something about Grunfeld, but it wasn't really a conversation for us. That's more a conversation for if you're doing the combat route. But what we more particularly needed was for them to clear out, so we had a clear shot at this door, which is unlocked in the original, and that's why it's unlocked here. In fact, everything about this is hopefully as close to the original as I could make it, except for the bug fixes I added. These computers are my bane because of my typing. Lots of fat fingering.
And if I meet death tonight, then let it be first that I cast
And this person in front of me now, I'm looking at. I'm not 100% sure of their plan for him, but I think you could just ignore him or stealth kill him, either one. And we pick up the Lassiter there. And one thing about these conversations is if you're detected or, you get too close or you hear, there's different criteria that cause these conversations to stop. And then once one conversation stops, they all stop. So if you want to get all these conversations, you have to make sure you're in stealth all the way through.
You know upon whose direct authority he acts?
Yes, I know.
And now we're just getting some more exposition on Bach himself.
Your place. Brother Grunfeld is
But mostly we're just waiting for it to end so that they move away. And I decided to come out and stealth kill this guy while I'm waiting, which almost turns into a big mistake because I'm afraid I won't get back in time and these guys will discover me. And these two people walking by now have incredible hearing because I waited for them to walk past the doorway there, and then I barely moved and they heard me every time. I think I ruined like 3 video takes because of that. So I let him pass way past me before I tried it. And now this guy in the long coat walking back and forth. I think you're supposed to stealth kill him as well, but I just choose to eat him because the whole stealth kill icon, if they're moving, is kind of wonky, and sometimes I get the icon and I try to stealth kill them and I end up slashing in the back and they turn around and everybody comes and kills me, or I don't get the stealth kill icon at all and he walks through the beam and turns around and everybody comes and kills me. So there is an easy way to stealth kill him if you walk through this door, but it's also kind of wonky. You still risk like not getting the icon, so I just skipped that whole thing.
He is no better than they. If not for his meddlesome diggings, the artifact would never...
And then this is a terribly important conversation.
Interesting turn of events. Do you think it holds something?
I cannot. If it does, then with God's help, we will send it screaming back to hell.
Brother Clayton says it may be him, the son of Adam, the brother killer.
If this be the end of days, then may the Lord give us strength to see that through.
So, shall we take some food down to Johansson?
Here, take mine. I'm no longer hungry.
And the important thing we learned from that is that Johansson is downstairs, so we don't have to be confused and go crazy looking. We know he's down here, so we just have to keep going down until we find him. And that's just another person with his back there for us to stealth kill. So we know we're still on the right path and we're still doing a stealth thing here. I get to this position and normally these people are patrolling, but apparently I didn't move far enough ahead when I stealth killed to trip the trigger. So I move ahead, and then the person I'm waiting for takes quite a while to get going usually. And I'm like, well, yeah, okay, here he comes. At first I thought maybe he's got a different trigger. Actually, I could open these maps in the hammer and figure it out. And I was going to stealth kill him, but I moved out too fast and he heard me. But it's really dark where I'm standing right now, so he couldn't see me. They don't see very good anyway. But this person in the long coat is a different story. He has incredible hearing and incredible sight, so if you move anywhere near those lights, circles put out by those lanterns, he'll see you. And his patrol route is so short that I could never get across here without being spotted. So that's why I use the tin can. And maybe that's why it's here. And this barrel illustrates a really important point, especially for beginners. A lot of people give the advice, don't waste any points on inspection, and that's probably the worst advice ever, because having high inspection will show you all these things that you need to progress in the map. And people curse the game and beat their heads against the wall and look it up and follow walkthroughs because they don't have inspection. And I think it's just wrong. So there. Anyway. So this part is from the original Unofficial Patch. I haven't changed any of this. And another super important conversation coming up here. But the music is so loud it's hard to hear it.
No, if someone is out there, let them come to us. There's only one way.
If I'm mistaken, there's another way. We must be cautious.
Yes, I suppose. But I don't know the man who can hold his breath for that long.
It is not men we need to worry about.
Ah, yes, I see your point. We shall be cautious.
So from that conversation, what we found out is there's some alternate path through this that relies on somebody not having to breathe, which is us. And they're like, that's why we're here, because vampires don't need to breathe. And these two guys go behind their posts there to help us out. And getting under the water with the camera is kind of glitchy. Sometimes I can't get the camera to go good. But I left that in there because, you know, not everything goes good every time. And I got tired of re-recording it so many times, trying to get too many things perfect. Or not perfect, but good. And I didn't use any disciplines in this video because that's the way Troika designed these maps, is that any clan can do these stealth routes or these routes. It only relies on understanding the design of the map and what they've put in there to help you to get through it. Just looking at things and paying attention. I also didn't do any of the boss fight because you know, there's no way to avoid boss fights in this game. You can pretty much avoid everything else, but not the boss fights. And hopefully that was helpful. Thanks for watching.